In the heart of Northeast Africa, the nation of Sudan is tearing itself apart. The current civil war, which erupted with brutal force in April 2023, is not a simple conflict, but a power struggle between two formidable military giants who were once allies. On one side stands the Sudanese Armed Forces, the official national army, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He represents what remains of the state's formal military structure. This force is locked in a fierce and devastating battle for control of the country, fighting to maintain its authority against an incredibly powerful and well-equipped rival. A battle that has pushed the nation to the brink of total collapse and created an unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe for its people. Opposing the national army is the Rapid Support Forces, a powerful paramilitary group with a dark history. The RSF is commanded by General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, who is more widely known by his nickname, Hemedti. His forces evolved from the notorious Janjaweed militias, which were responsible for carrying out horrific atrocities during the genocide in the Darfur region in the early 2000s. Over the years, the RSF transformed from a militia into a formidable, semi-independent military force, operating almost like a state within a state. Hemedti's ambition and the RSF's growing power created deep-seated tensions with the regular army, ultimately leading to this catastrophic war. The conflict began over a fundamental disagreement about the future of Sudan's security apparatus. The plan was to integrate the powerful RSF into the ranks of the official Sudanese Armed Forces, a critical step in the country's planned transition to a civilian-led democracy after the 2019 ouster of the longtime dictator Omar al-Bashir. However, the two generals, Burhan and Hemedti, could not agree on the terms of this integration, particularly on the timeline, and who would ultimately hold command. This power struggle quickly escalated from a political dispute into open warfare, with the first shots fired in the capital city, Khartoum, plunging the nation into chaos. As a result of this violent schism, Sudan is now effectively a partitioned country. The RSF has managed to seize control over large parts of the capital, Khartoum, including the presidential palace and the international airport, and has a dominant presence throughout the vast Darfur region in the west. Meanwhile, the SAF maintains its hold over the eastern and northern states, including the crucial Red Sea coastline. The government led by General al-Burhan now operates from Port Sudan, which has become the de facto capital. This division of territory has entrenched the conflict, making any resolution incredibly difficult and prolonging the immense suffering of the Sudanese people. While political ambition lit the initial spark, the conflict is fueled by something far more tangible and valuable: gold. Sudan is one of Africa's largest gold producers, but this immense natural wealth has become a curse, financing the very violence that is destroying the country. For the Rapid Support Forces, gold is not just a source of revenue, it is their primary financial lifeline. It allows them to operate independently of the state treasury, funding a war machine that grows more powerful daily. This access to vast, off-the-books wealth enables Hemedti to purchase sophisticated weaponry, pay high salaries to his fighters, and maintain a sprawling network of patronage that solidifies his power. The RSF, under Hemedti's command, exercises direct control over many of Sudan's most lucrative gold mines, particularly in the war-torn region of Darfur. The most significant of these is the Jebel Amer mine, a massive artisanal mining site that has effectively become the personal treasury for the RSF. Hemedti and his family built their empire on the back of this gold trade long before the current war began. By controlling the extraction, processing, and smuggling routes, they have created a vertically integrated business that transforms a national resource into a private war chest, completely bypassing any form of government oversight or benefit for the Sudanese population. The money generated from this illicit gold trade is the engine that drives the RSF's military operations. It allows them to recruit fighters not only from within Sudan, but also from neighboring countries, offering salaries that are far more attractive than any alternative. This river of gold finances the purchase of drones, armored vehicles, and advanced weaponry, which has given the RSF a significant advantage in many battles against the less agile state army. The conflict has become a grim economic cycle. The more gold the RSF controls, the more territory it can conquer, which in turn gives it access to even more resources to continue its fight. This direct link between gold and bloodshed has transformed the nature of the war. it is no longer just a struggle for political control of the capital, but a fight for the economic soul of the nation. Control over the gold mines in Darfur and Kordofan is as strategically important as capturing a military base. The wealth extracted from the ground is immediately converted into military power on the battlefield. For the millions of Sudanese caught in the middle, the very ground beneath their feet is funding their displacement, their starvation, and the destruction of their homes, making the country's natural blessing its most profound curse. The journey of Sudan's conflict gold is a shadowy path that begins in the dusty mines of Darfur and ends in the gleaming skyscrapers of Dubai. The logistics of this illicit trade are managed by a sophisticated smuggling network, reportedly overseen by Hemedti's brother, Abdul Rahim Dagalo. The raw gold is first moved out of Sudan through porous borders into neighboring countries. Nations like Chad and the Central African Republic serve as key transit points where the gold's origin is obscured before it continues its journey onward. This initial leg of the smuggling operation is crucial for laundering the gold and making it appear legitimate before it enters the global market. From these transit hubs, the vast majority of the smuggled gold is flown to one primary destination, Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. Dubai has positioned itself as a major global hub for the gold trade, attracting sellers with its business-friendly regulations and vast infrastructure. For the RSF, it is the perfect marketplace. Once the gold arrives in Dubai, it can be easily melted down, refined, and rebranded as Emirati bullion, effectively erasing its bloody origins. This process of cleaning the gold is what makes it so difficult to trace, allowing it to be sold to international buyers without raising red flags about its connection to the Sudanese conflict. The scale of this trade is staggering. According to data from the UN Comtrade database, which was briefly published in late 2025, the UAE's official gold imports from Sudan surged by 70% in 2024 alone, reaching 29 tons. This figure likely represents only a fraction of the total amount, as it doesn't account for the tons smuggled through third countries like Chad and Libya. Investigative groups have linked several Dubai-based companies to this trade, accusing them of laundering the illicit Sudanese gold on behalf of RSF financiers. Despite official denials, the evidence strongly suggests that the UAE's market provides the essential financial infrastructure that sustains the RSF's war effort. The UAE's role as the primary destination for this conflict, gold is undeniable. While the Emirati government has publicly denied allegations of supporting the RSF, and even implemented rules against conflict minerals, the flow of gold continues unabated. For Hemedti and his forces, Dubai is not just a market, it is a strategic partner, whether wittingly or not. The city's gold souks and refineries provide the liquidity needed to convert a mineral resource into hard currency, which is then used to buy weapons and perpetuate the violence. This golden trail directly connects the suffering in Sudan to the glittering markets of the Persian Gulf. The consequences of this gold-fueled war have been catastrophic for the people of Sudan. Since April 2023, the conflict has created one of the world's most severe humanitarian crises. Tens of thousands of civilians have been killed in the crossfire, in targeted attacks, and by the brutal siege tactics employed by both sides. Entire neighborhoods in Khartoum have been reduced to rubble, and atrocities reminiscent of the Darfur genocide have resurfaced. In late 2025, the RSF's capture of El Fasher, the last army stronghold in Darfur, was accompanied by horrific violence, including a reported attack on a hospital that left hundreds dead. The war has triggered a mass displacement crisis of historic proportions. Over 14 million people have been forced from their homes, with millions internally displaced, and millions more fleeing as refugees to neighboring countries like Chad and Egypt, which are already struggling with their own economic and social challenges. Famine is now a terrifying reality for a huge portion of the population, as fighting has disrupted agriculture, blocked humanitarian aid routes, and led to the collapse of the economy. Less than half of the country's hospitals and clinics remain functional, leaving the sick and wounded with virtually no access to medical care amid outbreaks of disease. This conflict is not unfolding in a vacuum. It is being shaped by a web of international interests. The UAE stands accused by UN experts of not only buying the RSF's gold, but also supplying the group with weapons and drones, allegations the UAE consistently denies. Other regional and global powers, including Egypt, Russia, and Saudi Arabia, are also involved, backing different sides to protect their own strategic interests in the Red Sea region. This foreign involvement has turned Sudan into a proxy battleground, making a peaceful resolution even more elusive while ensuring the weapons and money continue to flow to the warring parties. Ultimately, the story of Sudan's conflict gold is a stark reminder of how interconnected our world is. Gold mined in a conflict zone in Africa finances a brutal war, is laundered through a global financial hub in the Middle East, and may even end up in the jewelry or investment portfolios of consumers in Europe and North America. The lack of transparency in the global gold supply chain allows this cycle of violence to continue. Addressing this crisis requires more than just humanitarian aid. It demands international pressure and accountability to sever the financial lifelines that fuel the fighting. The world cannot afford to look away, as the price of this gold is paid in human lives.